Hey everyone, Soundwave884 here in the Transformers Legacy Evolution review. Make sure you take a look at Wardon 2-pack, Ariel and Dion. Artwork right here. He's like, oh shit, I'm about to be blown away. Turn to the back, 19 steps gets Ariel around, and then 20 gets Dion around. You can see retooling of Cup and a retooling of Prime RC. Turn to this side, you get Ariel's like, oh crap, look again. Yeah, they're like looking out like they know their end is coming. Also, you get your handy dandy instructions to transform these guys. I'm not going to actually do the transformation on camera because they are retools of figures I've already reviewed and transformed on camera. So I'm just going to do a good comparison review of them in robot mode and in vehicle mode. Oh god. Alright, and here's the figures out of the box. We got Dion and we have Ariel. They're nice looking figures. I would say I like Dion more than Ariel. The wheels on the side kind of throws off her proportions some. She was more slender in the episode, but she's got transformed, so she's got a lot more kibble going on. Now, like I said, this is a retooling of Studio Series 86 Cup. They also used to make Orion packs, and we'll do a whole big comparison thing there. Accessories you get with these guys: Ariel, you get this gun right here, molded in pink plastic, painted silver. So that's a good thing. It's not they didn't paint the handle, so you don't scratch that all up. So either hand will do. Bang bang. She can shoot you, and yes, it does support blast effects. Helps if I can do this on there. Now, being in this mold here, I don't actually have Prime RC. Oh, I got that. I reviewed it and I gave it to my oldest daughter because she likes Transformers Prime. The waist, the abdomen, it's always bugs me because they have a tendency to want to go backwards because of this back here. They're sort of weighted, back heavy, so they get these loose abdomens, so they want to fall back a lot. This is a retool of the Prime RC and turned into Ariel here, so you can see comparisons. And they didn't really change much from one to the other. All they really did is change the colors of the plastic from being the blue and black and stuff from RC, or the red and blacks and blues here from Road Rocket, to Ariel being pink and white, more like the RC colors. Of course, she gets blasted and turned into Alita 1. Now, I do get different weapons here. She has this little combination gimmick where she actually has a gun, which is a little more, I think, supposed to be G1 accurate to the episode like Alita 1 uses. So you actually can just give this to your Alita 1 legacy figure if you want to do that. Head sculpts are what really changes on these figures. We get light piping here on Road Rocket, which I really do like some good light piping. Her, we get some nicely painted blue eyes, and with her face being white, eyes really do stand out, so she doesn't really need the light piping. But she also has this ponytail which can pop off, but warning, if it does pop off, you'll also lose the front of her head because it has a little peg piece that snaps through and holds her head together, so just be wary of that popping out. Otherwise, you get the new backpack here, where it's going to form the front of the alt mode. And on hers, it's a lot better because this one comes separate and can pop off pretty easily. This one is actually pinned in, so this one does not detach like Prime RC or Road Rocket's backpack does. So that is your quick comparison of these two figures. So take a look at Ariel's articulation. It's going to be the same. You're going to get your bicep swivels, shoulders to there. 360 around, you're going to have to angle it to go around the backpack. Elbow bends to there. Get a wrist swivel, goes around, probably stops about there where the thumb hits the bottom. You also get a head tilt up, no down, 360 all the way around, no rock side to side. Add waist, you do get 360, but it gets kind of funky when you go around. That's because of the way this is. You get the slight ab crunch, but definitely ab back. I don't know, D crunch, whatever you want to call that. Upper thigh swivels. You get some knee bends. She's got tight joints there to there. Kick out, get about a full split. Kick to the front. Kick the back, goes really far. We're just stop by the backpack. Ankle tilts. And also foot rocker for transformation. So that's your articulation on Ariel. And we'll just go and do a quick comparison with her G1 animation model. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at Dion here. Biggest complaint I'm going to go over with the figure is just his arms. Now the first Studio Series Cup, they have these removable arms. It's perfect for him as well because he gets killed and blown up to probably bits, so he falls apart. It'd be realistic for the cartoon episode, but his arms are just horribly. I'm sure there's things you can put around it. Maybe you can do some clear coat, like nail polish, to, like this coat this around. Does it get a little bit tighter fit? It's because these are super duper loose. It's just really irritates me. So once you put the gun in, it's going to weigh it down as well. On the first Studio Series Cup, I don't remember them being so loose. And I remember I got the Buzzworthy Studio Series Cup, and that's when I really noticed them being more loose. I guess it's just the way the cookie crumbles here. And we get extra pieces here for Don. I'm going to throw these on. These are just pieces that go on his backpack. So come down here. There's this right here peg hole. We're just going to peg that in. Get the second one. Put it on. And that will complete the look for Dion here on his back. Give him his backpack. Jesus, dude. And of course we get the gun, which is pretty much, it's just Cup's gun. It's just different colored plastic. Put either hand. Don't worry, his arm will fall in a second. There it goes. Take this one here. This is the Energon goodies. Just put in the other hand. Good lord. I'm not really going to bother with this. I'll probably put it in a bag and put it up because I don't really see him using that. That's my Dion. We bring in Orion Pax here. Orion Pax has that problem somewhat with me, but when I bend their elbows, it sort of helps the deal. So we'll put this one on. Bend it nice and tight. They fall out less when they're bent. I'm about to chunk Dion. I'm about to turn into Megatron and kill you myself. Alright, so that's Dion right there. One-armed Dion. And this is a comparison with the Orion Pax. We'll bring in the original of this mold. Here is Studio Series 86 Cup. Actually, this is the second tier, the Buzzworthy Cup, which is even more so Studio Series than the first one was. And we can see what differences they got from Cup to Dion and Orion Pax. Of course, from Cup to Dion, they changed the front of the legs. And the chest piece here is different. They also changed the crotchets right here. The waist piece is totally different on this figure. Turn to the back. They also get new backpacks here. Dion's got a whole new backpack. My God, Dion's got a whole new backpack bit back here. They redid the entire thing. Different hip pieces, and then lost another arm on the turnaround here. Now, difference between Cup, Dion to Orion Pax, of course, again, the front of the legs, the chest, they all do new head sculpts. Now, Orion Pax shares more of Cup than Dion does. The backpack is exactly the same between Orion Pax and Cup. You also have the exact same crotch piece right here. Now, what's going to look a little different is the thigh pieces up here. See how Dion and Cup are the same, but Orion Pax has a different piece. All they did was take the hip piece and turn it around. God bless it, dude. And they just put the other pieces around the other way. So the hip pieces did a 180 for Cup and for Orion Pax. Cup and Dion. Should I refilm this video? No, we'll just keep going. What happened to him? I think Megatron already got to him. Well, he got pissed off because his arms kept falling off. And a comparison with all the ones from the Wardon packs, we get Alpha Trion, a retooling of Studio Series Scourge. And we get Orion Pax. And we have Dion and Ariel. Articulation on Dion. Shoulders go out to there. You can 360 bad boys around. Head, get a rock side to side. 360 that all the way around. You get a slide up and a slide down. Waist swivel. 360 that bad boy all the way around as well. Knee bends to there. Ankle tilts the bottom here to there. You get a thigh swivel here, which also leads to these pieces coming off. I shouldn't have done that because once you start it, it probably is going to be. I don't want these to be as loose as his arms are. Thighs, hips go to there, kick to there, back to there. So you get a lot of thighs. We'll do the elbows here, which also where you get your bicep swivels. I got a hard time getting you to stand up, dude. You swivel here at that peg, but it'll just fall off if I do it on camera. Elbows will bend a little more than 90 degrees. You get like that. There is no wrist swivels. Is one molded piece, hollow, a little bit of waffle pattern here on the underside. And yes, his gun can also support blast effects. They're just a little big, so it will fall off if you turn it that way. And a comparison with this G1 animation model. Alright, so with them in vehicle mode, we're going to do some comparisons right here to what they're retooled from. Actually, this is more or less retooled from Prime RC, which is what this is, pretty much to a T with new colors and a new head sculpt. So we're going to take a look at Dion first. We'll slide these two out of the way. Road Rocket and Ariel will go over here. And we'll take a look at the biggest differences in vehicle mode. And it's pretty much the biggest differences we got in robot mode. The chest pieces here perform the new front of the vehicle. The alt modes, which are totally new from Cup to Dion. Also, this back piece back here is also new. Sides where the arms are exactly the same. When you come to the back, this whole molding back here, totally remolded and totally different. And the pieces here that you can hold as weapons or plug on his back as a backpack, peg in right here, and they also tab into these little slots that are on the legs, and it locks in vehicle mode and holds very nice and gives them like a little more of a truck in like you did in the G1 alt mode, G1 cartoon episode. So that is your biggest differences in vehicle mode from Dion and the original Studio Series Cup. Alright, so we have Road Rocket, G2 Road Rocket, and we have Ariel. Really the only difference here, again, besides the colors of plastic, is going to be the front here of the motorcycle is totally different. They got a new piece here, and it comes around, and the sides are also different. And that is a welcome change in the figure here, because this is pinned in, and that holds it on. And I know this one is just sitting there. So in robot mode, it's easy to knock out. And it might fall out on you. Mine does multiple times when I try to just transform some bite the motorcycle mode and tab that in. All that really holds is once you tab that in, it will hold the piece in. Pretty much everything else is exactly the same on this. Besides, what we saw in robot mode would be the head sculpts are different. Close look at Ariel. Of course, you get the weapon here, which makes it look like there's an extra exhaust on the side of the motorcycle. Articulation alt mode. This moves up so you can roll it. Get this here. The back one doesn't roll very well. It's very tight and stiff, so it doesn't really want to spin for me. And you get this right here. The wheel can turn 360 degrees even in vehicle mode. Dion, of course, you get the rolling tires. And he rolls extremely well. Better than my original Studio Series Cup. He rolls good. And some comparisons with his G1 animation appearance and vehicle mode. Ariel, I don't think she ever actually transformed. I couldn't really find any pictures of her in her alt mode. She transformed more when she became Elito 1. Alright, so final thoughts here on on Dion and Ariel War Dawn 2-pack. I love the look of the figures. They are nice looking, especially Dion. I love the look of Dion. I just wish his arms stayed on better, and I will rectify those problems myself at a later time. Ariel looks fine, looks the part. Don't mind her head sculpt. I didn't really look at Dion's head sculpt. Let's take a look at that. He's got light piping right now. He's got the dead eyes, but if I can get it just right, you can see he's got some blue light piping going on there. He's a beautiful figure. I really do like the look of the figure. I think the cut mold suits Orion Pax and Dion just fine. I just wish his arms stayed on better. Ariel to me is the weak link of this set. I'm not really a big fan of that mold, but I still want the character. I'm glad that Hasbro is finally giving us some characters that we've got a few Orion Paxes, but in mainline Transformers getting some actual good like DevCon. We're getting Dion, we got Orion Pax, Alpha Trion, Ariel, getting some good figures I probably didn't think we would get for a long time. I'm glad they're finally doing that. So I do recommend this set. Maybe your mileage may vary kind of thing here at Dion's arms. Maybe yours will stay on better than mine. Like I said, there are little tricks and hacks you can probably do to get them to stay on. Now we'll try to work on that, like I said, at a later time. I do like the things they did with the hips, just reversing it from Cup to Orion Pax to give them a different look while still remaining the same piece. And Orion Pax and Ariel get rebuilt, of course, Optimus Prime and Elita 1, while Dion here is just looking at, Alphatron. You're going to rebuild me too, right? If I die, you're going to rebuild me? Screw you. But yeah, just a lot of the little problems here. It's mostly just things staying tabbed in on Dion. Mainly the arm staying on in this backpack, which I have a problem with the backpack on Cup and on Orion packs as well. Like I said, I still love the actual overall look of this figure. And thanks for watching this review. I know his arm's gonna stay on for most of it, but that is what it is with this figure. Thanks for watching. Until the next ones. Peace out.